What are the surprising origins of OSHA rules? Imagine a time when workplace accidents were so common that deaths and injuries seemed like just part of the job. That was the reality in America before the Occupational Safety and Health Administration was created. In 1970, about 14,000 workers died each year, which is roughly 38 every single day. These numbers shocked the nation and pushed for change. But the story of how OSHA rules came to be is more interesting than you might think. It didn't start with a detailed plan or a government blueprint. Instead, it grew from years of suffering, big industrial disasters, and workers fighting for safer conditions. Long before OSHA, some states tried to regulate factory safety. Massachusetts passed the first factory safety law in 1877. It required guards on dangerous machines, better ventilation, and fire exits. But these laws were limited and not nationwide. It wasn't until 1936 that the federal government stepped in with the Walsh-Healey Public Contracts Act. This law protected workers working for companies with federal contracts, but it only covered a small part of the workforce. The real push for safety came after tragic events like the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire in 1911. That fire killed over 100 workers and caused huge public outrage. It led to demands for stronger safety laws and better working conditions. Throughout the early 1900s, workers organized unions and protested in safe workplaces. They fought for better protections and safer environments. The 1960s saw a series of deadly accidents, like the Farmington Mine disaster in 1968, where 78 miners lost their lives. These tragedies made safety a national concern. During this time, people became more aware of hazards like asbestos, lead, and chemical exposures. Workers and the public demanded action. All this pressure led to the signing of the Occupational Safety and Health Act by President Richard Nixon on December 29, 1970. It went into effect on April 28, 1971. The law aimed to make workplaces safer by setting standards and enforcing rules. What's surprising is that OSHA rules didn't come from a perfect plan. They were born from years of suffering, protests, and disasters. OSHA's first director, George Gunther, had a huge task. He had to build the agency and create standards in just 2 years. At first, OSHA focused on industries with the highest risks, like construction, manufacturing, and mining. They adopted standards from organizations like the American National Standards Institute and the National Fire Protection Association. During the first decade, OSHA tackled hazards such as asbestos, lead, and carcinogens. They also introduced training programs and protections for whistleblowers. In the 1980s, the Supreme Court confirmed that workers had the right to refuse unsafe work, a big shift in workplace rights. For workers in odd and high-risk jobs like logging, deep-sea fishing, and storm chasing, OSHA's creation was a turning point. These professions had little oversight and faced extreme dangers. Loggers worked with falling trees and heavy machinery without many safety rules. Deep-sea fishermen faced deadly conditions in one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Storm chasers operate in extreme weather with minimal regulation. The truth is that OSHA rules didn't come from some grand master plan. They grew from the real struggles of workers who faced dangerous conditions every day. Families lost loved ones to preventable accidents, and workers refused to accept death as part of the job. OSHA's rules are a direct result of those stories, and the government finally recognizing that protecting workers is a responsibility that everyone shares.